Spans are a new type of assembly part that allow you to create amazing assemblies. These three objects were generated using span parts, and you can see how these parts are discontinuous between the specified supports. So let's create a new assembly using spans. I'm going to add a new span part, and you'll notice that there's three different types of span parts that you can choose from: profile member, component, or subassembly. In this tutorial, we're just going to look at profile member span parts. To pick the profile, you can just use the Pick from Model button and then click a profile member in our model. The profile has been set, but nothing has been generated yet. That's because we don't have a support. We can add a support by going to the Component tab, adding a new component part, click Pick from Model, and we'll click this support post. Now you can see in the preview that our span has been generated. Go back to the Span tab, and I'll add an up-down offset of 9 inches, which will raise this part up. It's always important to give each part a name, so let's name this bottom rail. And I'm going to continue to add 2 more span parts. The next one I add, you'll notice a new feature in version 3, which will create a duplicate of the current part and stack it on top of the previous one. Since I already have a duplicate, all I need to do is now adjust the up-down offset, and I'll make this one 26.5 inches. I'll do this one more time and change the offset to 42 inches. Now this is what it looks like when I build the assembly. When I switch to X-ray mode, you can see that all of the span parts stop and start at the center of that component. It's actually based on the location of the component axis. In this case, the axis is right at the center. If the axis would have been in a different location, the span parts would stop and start at that location instead. The pattern setting for span parts controls the location that the spans are generated. By default, the pattern is to be placed at all locations. But you can also choose odd, even, or just at ends. So for example, I'm going to change the bottom rail to odd, the middle rail to even, and the top rail to ends only. When I apply the settings, you can see how it changes. Now take special note that the pattern will stop and start at the junction locations, and the junction locations are determined by the junction angle of the support component. I'm going to change the pattern back to all for the rest of the tutorial. You can apply setbacks to the span parts as well. For the top rail, I'm going to use a setback of 3 inches. For the middle rail, I'm going to use a setback of -6 inches. And that'll actually have the effect of extending the part. And for the bottom rail, I'm going to enable auto trim. When you enable auto trim, the setbacks get hidden because you can't have both happening at the same time. In X-ray mode, we can see that the top rail, which had a 3-inch setback, has all the span parts set back 3 inches from the original location. The middle rail, which had a -6-inch setback, has been extended on both sides. And the bottom rail had auto trim enabled. What auto trim does is that it attempts to perform a planar trim against the support. Now for the top rail, I'm going to enable the cross junction setting. When I apply it, there's no noticeable effect at this time. That's because there happens to be a support post directly over the junction point. In order to see the effect, I have to apply a junction setback to this part. So go to the Component tab, we'll apply a 12-inch junction setback, and then apply. Now you can see that the top rail span part is crossing the junction point and spanning between these supports. In order to make the span part go around corners, you also have to enable the Allow Curve checkbox. When this checkbox is enabled, the span part will always follow the path of the assembly. And this is more noticeable when I use something like a freehand path. If I build an assembly along a slope, by default, all of the spans will follow the slope. If I want all the span parts to be horizontal, I can just disable the Allow Slope checkbox. You can also add a sag amount to the span part. You can also change the sag divisions and the sag amount to a negative value in order to get an arch effect. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for watching.